The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Happy Monday, everyone. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily forecast. Sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and RS Settlement and Balance Claims. Check them out in the description below. And of course, you saw them in those commercials unless you're watching us not live and you probably skipped them. So we're jumping right into those weather headlines today. We're going to recap a pretty busy weekend that we had. Friday especially ended up being the busiest hail day since 2017 with 290 hail reports. We have a chance for some hail today. I caught a little bit of a sneaky Texas risk. Some big hail makers are possible, especially in the Edwards Plateau area of Texas, and it could sneak into DFW. We'll go over that in a second. And it looks like we're going to be in for otherwise a fairly quiet week. The pattern is not favorable for severe weather outside of about today and tomorrow, so we will kind of just look into that a little bit. There's a couple glimmers of hope towards the end of the run, but pretty quiet for the start of, or for the middle of April here. Yesterday's storm reports, we had, it was not April 8th, that was actually April 11th. Quite a bit of hail and wind, especially in Florida. We made a decent hail map here. This was pretty early in the morning across Orlando. Up to 2-inch hail fell there. And then a lot of pretty strong winds, upwards, I think the highest was 86 miles an hour along the east coast of Florida. It ended up being a 3-star wind map going all the way from near Orlando down south by Miami. Quite a bit of storm reports there. So where does that lead us for the year so far? We had no tornadoes yesterday, only 22 hail reports yesterday, 32 high wind reports almost exclusively in Florida. And that brings our total. We're over 1,000 hail reports now. We, again, 290 of which happened on Friday. So 1,051 hail reports thus far for the year. 12 wind reports. And again, Friday was so active that we're kind of catching up to the wind reports, which usually does not happen. Wind's usually far and away more active than all the other storm reports that come in. So we're going to continue to watch these numbers go up a little bit this week, maybe not so much compared to last week. Hailstorm highlights, we got a lot to catch up on from the weekend. So here we are on Friday, our 4-star map that we made. This one, well, technically was Saturday. This was about 4 o'clock in the morning. An all-time record breaker for Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. You don't see softball-sized hail too often along the Gulf Coast, but that happened. We had 4-inch hail in the Gulf Shores and Orange Beach areas that were hit pretty hard by Hurricane Sally, and only about 4,700 homes. But again, this is the first time the National Weather Service in Mobile, Alabama, which is the area that controls Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, first time they've ever seen hail this big since records were kept. Biggest hail, especially in Gulf Shores. So you never see 4-inch hail along beach resort towns. So that's why we made that a 4-star map for your Friday. Another big storm. This one, actually, we're here in the office keep debating back and forth whether or not we want to upgrade this one. 3-star map in the Dallas area on Friday. The storms did finally fire. The cap did finally break. We had 2-inch hail, possibly near tennis ball size hail in parts of Dallas. Some very large hail down in the Italy area and over by Venus. The storms just to the south of the Metroplex really got crazy. And this little north split storm that moved through the DeSoto area, all dropping pretty large hail. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up finally deciding to make this a 4-star map. There was quite a bit of damage that we saw from these storms here. They hit hard and quick. Oak Cliff, Glen Heights, Venus, 3-inch hail is the max I saw. 66,665 homes. That is, we didn't make that number up. That's what we are seeing there for your Friday. And then we also had a little further north here in Oklahoma. It seemed like every storm wanted to get close to OKC, but didn't quite make it. I think I got back in town too early. But Chickasha got hit pretty hard, up to some baseball-sized hail. Chickasha, Kingfisher, Cleveland, you can check that out. 10,000 homes impacted. Chickasha, especially the southern sides of town, really got smacked pretty hard with some high quantities of golf balls up to that baseball size hail. And then yesterday's 3-star map here in the Orlando area. This was in the morning, about 10 o'clock in the morning Central Time. Had up to 2-inch hail in the northern suburbs of Orlando, Winter Park, Fairview Shores, Oviedo, Florida, about 2-inch hail, 30,579 homes impacted with that. You can check all this out on our website at Hail Trace. If you're already subscribing, bring it up around the app right now. Go get to work. So again, yeah, a lot of stuff, but looking forward now, we got to keep pushing ahead. This is the weather. Looking right now, not really too much in the way of any precipitation. The thing that is, yes, somebody said the cap will screw Dallas again, and that might be what the case. The reason why I'm zoomed in here on the current conditions, you see all this cloudiness right now? Here's Dallas, there's San Angelo. This is keeping temperatures in check for the Dallas area to make it so you might not really see too much in the way of storms, at least during the daylight hours today. It doesn't remove you guys entirely from the risk. We'll go over that in a second, but overall, temperatures a little lower. 73 in Dallas right now, 81 in Houston, and be in the 80s, or probably be near 80 right now if we had not had that cloudiness in the area so far today. The moisture is definitely there. You see that nice plume of higher dew points everywhere in the greens above 50. So we got 63 San Antonio, 56 in Dallas, 61, 70 in Corpus Christi. That is where you're going to see that chance for some storms today, right along that line of where the dry and the moist air meet. And the forecast for those dew points, you can see actually this model is showing a couple storms showing up here about 5 o'clock, and then this model also is showing storms impacting Dallas. This is not the one we normally use. It's more of a high-res experimental model, but it does show that potential that there could be some storms, but overall we are seeing that moisture in place. The biggest question is going to be, will we actually see storms fire up near Dallas-Fort Worth? There's plenty of CAPE or available potential energy, you know, what these storms need to really kind of fire up here. At 5 o'clock, it gets all the way up to the Red River. The majority of this is down by Mexico, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, over even further north into San Angelo. You got plenty to work with here today. You could see some really big hailstorms, any storms that form this afternoon. And there's enough energy here in Dallas, so if something were to come over, you could see some of that bigger stones upwards of 2 inches. We'll get over that in just a second. And then the significant hail model you're showing here, showing, yeah, that potential does make it sneaks up into Dallas here. It's very conditional. The better chance you got further to the south here, and you'll see that in the hail forecast in just a minute. You could see storms that potentially get upwards of that tennis ball size hail. So there's that future radar. I'm going to show here a couple. This storm over here down in Mexico, south of Del Rio, that's going to be a monster. That's probably dropping softballs if it actually does happen. You see at 7 o'clock, some storms trying to fire by San Angelo. Big storm off to the east of San Angelo. And any of these will be making some big hail. And notice how they're pretty isolated. And also notice how they kind of split up. We're in a pattern where the conditions are right for a thunderstorm to split and shoot off a storm off to the north, and that could be a big hailer as well, and honestly could be one of the main things that could have hail in Dallas. You will see some storms in Dallas about 2 a.m. This model is showing some storms moving through. Biggest question, of course, is going to be, are they going to be strong enough to really make too much hail in the late overnight hours? So what's the overall forecast max size for today? I had it at tennis balls for anywhere here in Texas. Honestly, I think we could get a little bigger. I might have to change this up a little bit. I want to maybe replace tennis balls with baseballs or something so we can really indicate that. And then here we are, that hail forecast for your Monday. You see that bullseye there of the purple are going to be off in the Edwards Plateau section of Texas. Somebody asked about San Antonio. I think San Antonio, you're going to stay out of it today. Zooming in a little bit further here, you can see Fort Smith. You could see some hail very late tonight, but probably only around that quarter size. Same with most of southeastern Oklahoma. And then here in DFW, it is zoomed in for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It'd be Tarrant or Dallas County if anything were to happen. And this red does indicate could be maybe up to 2-inch hail if anything happens. It's very conditional. So again, you got that low chance. Now he's got the low risk level, but that size potential is higher. So kind of think like Friday. I think Friday had a better chance than today does, but there's an outside chance you could see some bigger storms make it over to the DFW Metroplex. More significant area, as you see from the moderate and the biggest text, San Angelo, I think you have a very good chance, or you have the best chance. Del Rio, you have a good chance, especially if the storms in Mexico are able to cross the Rio Grande, then you could see some pretty decent storms. Anywhere here in the purple or in the hatch has a potential of upwards of baseball-sized hail, maybe even 3-inch hail for your Monday, and this is going to be after about 5 p.m. City forecast here, specifically Dallas-Fort Worth, I'm thinking 10 to 2, so 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., that's your time frame for if storms were to happen, the most likely time frame for it to be. Tennis ball size hail would be your absolute max, and that would most likely be just south of Tarrant and Dallas counties, places like Corsicana. That's probably your better chance of where you could see storms, because I think most of them are going to stay fairly south of the Metroplex. So again, that low chance. So high risk, high reward type situation, boom or bust for DFW for this evening. And then San Angelo, 5 to 10 p.m., your max hail size much more extreme, up to 3 inches in diameter, moderate chance at least quarters, and a low chance. Again, these storms will be pretty isolated, so I can't do much more than low chance of that really big hail. So we'll just kind of see how things play out. San Angelo last year especially, you guys had a 45-minute long hailstorm, so I'm sure a lot of people are still working on that from last year. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the only area that I see really anything worthwhile is going to be in Louisiana. Notice how messy that really is. I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of hail, maybe more of a wind risk across portions of Louisiana. There's your hail forecast. Again, only quarter, $half size hail possible from Alexandria to New Orleans. Low chance. I think we're much more likely to see gusty winds with any of these storms for your Tuesday. So hopefully today we can get a big storm, because other than that, it's going to be pretty quiet as we look ahead on the future dew points. This is going all the way through the week. Dry air. All this brown is dry air. Notice how it just kind of seeps into the southeast here by the end of the week. That really puts a damper on things. You're not going to see too much in the way of severe weather when you have a big trough of dry, cool, stable air across the eastern 2/3 of the country. You're not really going to see too much. I don't think we're going to see really much in the way of any severe weather for the majority of this week. However, the one saving grace here, this is at 12 p.m. on Friday, you do see some of that moisture return here in Texas into Oklahoma. There could be something, fingers crossed, going into next weekend in portions of Texas and Oklahoma. And that is all I'm really seeing over the next week. Again, pretty quiet here. Pretty unusual pattern, unusual cool air deciding to dominate the eastern 2/3 of the country here in the middle of April. That's all I got for you guys today. Follow us on all of our social media platforms as always. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All at Hail Trace at See First on Facebook, so you don't miss any of our content, any of our live coverage. Turn notifications on if you're following us on YouTube, and you get the same basic deal. Hit the bell, whatever it is, for when we go live, especially with storms that might be happening with live coverage. Give us a call, 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns you may have, you got to set yourself up to completely dominate 2021. We're here to help. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com if you're not a fan talking on the phone, or visit our website if you really don't want to talk to us at all and you just want to find out more details. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow, unless, of course, something crazy happens and we do go live for storms later. Do those hail dances, and maybe you'll see me later this evening. Have a great day, everybody.